Episode number 955, Vision Without Execution is Wishful Thinking.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you, and where are you?
Well, I'm still at home in Austin. This has been, probably a little longer than normal, where I haven't had to get on a plane and fly somewhere. So I'm enjoying my time here. The weather in Austin is great this time of year. It's really fantastic.
Oh, good. And so what do you have to share with us?
Well, today I want to talk about vision, but more importantly, execution. Vision without execution is really just wishful thinking. And I want to talk about this because I think it sounds inspiring, but it can be dangerously incomplete. Now, don't get me wrong, vision matters. In fact, without vision, organizations drift, people drift, chapters drift. But vision alone, that's just a well-worded dream. And dreams don't build businesses. Execution builds businesses. So vision is exciting. It's emotional. It feels big. It feels strategic. You can stand in front of a room and say, we're going to double our chapter. We're going to increase referrals by 30%. By the way, if you double your chapter, you're going to increase your referrals by 150% just for the hard data that we have. Or you can say, we're going to become the premier networking chapter in our community. And everyone nods to that. And they all, yeah, that sounds great. But what then? Because the distance between vision and results is filled by only one thing, and that's behavior. And behavior requires systems, discipline, follow-up, accountability. Accountability, remember, accountability is not something you do to someone. It's something you do for someone. So accountability is really important. And a focus on excellence. I've often said, why accept mediocrity when excellence is an option? Excellence is an option, and it's all about the vision first and then the behavior. In BNI, we don't just say givers gain. We really do our best to operationalize it. We don't just talk about building relationships. We track one-to-ones. We measure referrals. We record thank you for closed business. That's execution. Vision is direction. Education is movement. Think about this. A vision tells you where you want to go, but the execution on that vision determines how you actually get there. You can have the clearest GPS in the world, but if you never put the car in drive, you're just sitting in the driveway admiring, what you believe your destination will be. And I've seen this in organizations around the world. Leaders with incredible vision, brilliant ideas, inspiring language, but no implementation rhythm, no follow-through cadence, no structure. And eventually, the excitement fades because people don't stay motivated by potential. They stay motivated by progress. I'm going to repeat that. People don't stay motivated by potential. They stay motivated by progress. So there's a dangerous space that I call the execution gap. It's the space between what we say we want and what we consistently do. In BNI terms, that gap shows up when we say relationships matter, but we don't schedule one-to-ones. We say referrals are important, but we don't educate our members on how to effectively refer business to us. We say culture matters, but we tolerate negativity. That's the gap. Those things are the gap between vision and execution. And here's the hard truth. Execution isn't glamorous. Vision gets applause. Execution builds results. Vision gets headlines. Execution produces habits. Habits are what builds success. Go to episode 728, Coaching a Chapter to Greatness, on what it takes to create the right habits to achieve success in a BNI chapter. Accomplishment happens when we move from talking about it to tracking it, because what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed improves. So why does execution fail? Why do people struggle with execution? Let me suggest a few reasons. One, complexity. They add too many features. And I've talked about this in a previous episode. It's the curse of complexity. Too many moving parts. Simplicity scales. Complexity stalls. Simplicity scales, complexity stalls. Don't add things to the system. That's called feature creep. Don't do that. Just follow the program. It's worked for over 40 years. Follow the program. A lack of ownership is number two. Everyone agrees with the vision. No one owns the process, but you got to own the process. You have to own what the behavior that needs to be done to achieve the vision. Three is no cadence. Execution requires rhythm, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Without rhythm, even the best strategies dissolve. Fourth is no accountability. Vision inspires, but accountability transforms. Accountability transforms. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your systems. You fall to the level of your execution. So vision plus systems plus culture is what this is all about. If you really want results, you need three things. You need a clear vision. That's important. You need to know where you're going. You need defined systems. And in BNI, we have defined systems. Don't make up new ones. We have them. So how do you get to that vision step by step? That should be your focus in a chapter. And you need a strong culture. You need to hold yourselves and each other accountable for following the culture and the system of the program and moving to the vision that your chapter has built. In BNI, we built systems around the VCP process: visibility, credibility, profitability, structured weekly meetings, the PALMS reporting, leadership team roles. These things aren't accidental. These are intentional systems of execution, because big results require repeatable behaviors. You know, I'm sure you've heard me say before, if you've listened to my podcast, success is about doing 6 things 1,000 times, not 1,000 things 6 times. And so it's that repeatable behavior. Execution multiplies legacy. Now, let me take it one step further. Anyone can have a vision. Very few people build something that lasts. BNI has been around for over 40 years. Legacy is not built. And by the way, not only around for over 40 years, we have grown every year on year for 41 years. And sometimes I hear people, I don't like BNI is now doing this or BNI is now doing that. Oftentimes, by the way, when people say BNI is now doing that, it's because the chapter is actually getting back to basics and doing the things they're supposed to be doing. And I had somebody say, well, BNI has just changed so much. It's not as successful. Well, maybe the chapter isn't. But when you have an organization that has 41 years of consecutive growth, year on year on year, I don't know of any organization other than BNI that has that. And so legacy is not built just by ideas. It's built by disciplined implementation over time. A chapter doesn't become strong because it has a good launch meeting. It becomes strong because for years, sometimes decades, members consistently, and yes, decades, we have members who've been in BNI for decades. We have some of our original members from the founding chapter who are still in BNI, and from chapters that started in the first year that are still in BNI after 40 years. Members consistently, if you want to be successful, invite visitors, do one-to-ones, educate each other, expect that do member success program training, follow the system and the structure. That's execution. And execution is a force multiplier for success. It wasn't the idea of BNI that scaled BNI. It was disciplined execution of the process we developed. The vision gave direction. The systems created results. You can have the clearest GPS in the world, but if you don't put the car in drive, you're just admiring the destination that you're hoping for. Execution is rarely dramatic. It's consistent. It's doing the fundamentals when no one is applauding. In B&I, we talk about the one-to-ones, inviting visitors, following the agenda, educating members, tracking thank you for closed business. None of that sounds glamorous, but one of our core values in B&I is positive attitude. Why? Because culture determines whether execution thrives. Vision inspires, systems organize. Culture sustains. Culture, when applied consistently and appropriately, sustains. So here's my challenge for you as members and directors. This week, ask yourself, what is my vision for my chapter or my region or my business? What specific behaviors support that vision? Where is my execution inconsistent? What system, existing system, particularly in B&I, existing system, could I implement this week to close the gap? Don't adjust your vision downward. Raise your execution upward. So dream boldly, execute relentlessly, because extraordinary things don't happen by intention alone. They happen by implementation. And that's my message for today, Priscilla.
Very good. Yes. Well, that's great.
Thank you.
I hope that people get to hear this and follow it.
That's the key. It's good ideas, but you got to follow them. It's the behavior that counts.
Exactly. Okay, great. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, that's it. But I do invite people to ask themselves those 4 questions, and please, just follow the system. Don't continue to try to reinvent the wheel, and don't let chapters reinvent the wheel. Focus on the system as it is, and just improve on implementation of the existing system. That's it for today.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the great information. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioPrograms.com, and these audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your B&I experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioPrograms.com, and then use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the B&I Foundation. Thanks so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official B&I podcast.